Hello there. Can we talk about something that's both terrifying and beautiful? Loving again after heartbreak. If you've ever had your heart broken, you know how hard it is to even think about opening your heart again. After all the pain, the disappointment, and the trust that was broken, it feels safer to just close the door, to build walls around your heart and tell yourself, never again. Because loving someone after you've been hurt, that takes courage. But here's the thing. The real strength isn't in shutting people out. The real courage lies in choosing to open up again, despite the fear and past pain. It's in believing that your story isn't over, that not every love will end in heartbreak. It's in trusting that your heart, though bruised and scarred, is still capable of beautiful, lasting love. After heartbreak, it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I'll never feel that way again. You tell yourself it's safer not to risk it. Safer to protect your heart, to avoid the vulnerability, the messiness, the potential for more pain. And honestly, that makes sense. Who wants to get hurt again? But here's the truth. When you shut down your heart, you're not just protecting yourself from pain, you're also blocking out the possibility of joy, connection, and the kind of love that fills your soul. Love is risky, it's vulnerable, but it's also worth it. Loving again means stepping into the unknown. It means facing the fear that history might repeat itself. But it also means believing that not all stories end the same way. Just because you were hurt before doesn't mean you'll be hurt again. Just because someone broke your heart doesn't mean everyone will. Your past pain doesn't have to define your future. Here's where faith comes in. You don't have to rush into love on your own. You don't have to force yourself to be ready before you really are. But when the time comes, when your heart begins to stir with the possibility of love again, you can trust God with that process. The Bible says in Psalm 147:3, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That's not just poetic language, it's a promise. God knows the exact shape of your heartbreak. He knows the tears you've cried in silence, the nights you've spent wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. And He's been there, holding your heart, mending the pieces, preparing you for what's next. Loving again doesn't mean pretending you were never hurt. It means trusting that God has healed you enough to risk again. It means believing that He has a plan for your heart, a plan that includes love, joy, and relationships that reflect His goodness. Jeremiah 29:11 says, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That future includes relationships that honor your heart, people who see your worth, and love that doesn't leave you guessing. Here's what I want you to remember. Your heart is resilient. Even though it's been bruised, even though it's carried the weight of past pain, it's still capable of love. Beautiful, lasting love. The scars on your heart aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you've loved deeply, that you've lived fully. And those experiences, they've made you wiser. They've taught you what you deserve. They've shown you the kind of love you won't settle for. And they've prepared you for the kind of love you will. When you choose to love again, you're not erasing the past, you're honoring it. You're saying, I've been through the fire, but I'm still here. I'm still open. I still believe in love. And that belief, that's powerful. Because love, at its core, is an act of faith. It's trusting that even though you can't control the outcome, it's worth the risk. It's believing that God has placed a capacity for love in your heart for a reason, and that He's not going to let that love go to waste. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be 100% healed to open your heart again. Healing isn't linear, and love doesn't wait for perfection. But when you trust God with your heart, when you let Him guide your relationships, you can step forward with confidence, knowing that He's got you. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Even when you don't understand why you were hurt, even when you're scared to try again, God is making a way. He's aligning your heart with His plan, and that plan is filled with hope. Loving again doesn't mean you forget the past. It means you grow from it. It means you carry the lessons, the strength, and the wisdom forward, knowing that you're not the same person who was hurt before. You're stronger now. You know your worth. And you're ready for the kind of love that reflects God's heart for you. So what do you do now? You take it one step at a time. You let yourself feel the fear, but you don't let it control you. You trust that your heart is still capable of love and that God is leading you to the right person at the right time. You don't have to rush. You don't have to force it. But when love comes knocking again, and it will, you'll know that you have the courage to open the door. Because loving again isn't just about finding someone new. It's about trusting that your heart, though it's been through the fire, is still beating strong. It's about believing that God isn't done writing your love story. And when the right person comes along, someone who sees your worth, honors your heart, and reflects God's love in the way they treat you, you'll realize that all the pain, all the heartbreak, and all the waiting was worth it. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this message reminded you that even after heartbreak, hope and love are still very much alive in your story. Until next time, take care of your heart, trust in God's plan, and know that you are deeply loved and valued. God bless you, and I'll see you again soon.